Well, it's time for another Jungle Drums. How are we doing this evening, gentlemen?
Hot. Hot.
Is it hot down there, is it?
It's really boiling in my house, so I have no idea why. But it is. It's not
It's
fun.
warm, you pansy.
To be fair, today was quite sunny and warm, but then, oh god, I don't know, from maybe 5 p.m. onwards, it's been back to the rain. Because, like, before today, we've just had days and days of just rain. So we have. So there. Been a bit rainy. What have you been up to then? You've just been busy with work?
Yes.
You sound so thrilled.
I know, right? Tell me about it.
When's the next time you've got a holiday or time off?
Well, I got time off during Destiny 2 release, but not that I would ever do anything like that.
That's like, I was convinced that I was going to be back at school next week, but no, I don't start till the 30th, so I've got a cheeky little week left, all of next week. So I'm going to do some things. I'm going to redo the man cave. I'm going to get a different desk and basically rip apart my PC, and I've got some things I want to change out, like all my custom cables, and just change things.
Nice.
Nice.
Change a few things. Well, I'd had one bit of news that I was hoping was going to be kind of ahead of the official announcement, but I see Xbox has already kind of came out and said it. I'd got a cheeky email from Amazon saying that, hey, the details of the pre-order for the Xbox One X are going to be announced live at Gamescom this weekend. But I just saw on Twitter that Xbox has went ahead and actually publicly released that information as well. So, womp womp.
Sad times.
Yeah,
Probably
but so that's...
Amazon's already released the information. Quick, pretend it wasn't an accidental leak.
Yeah. Oh my.
That'd be like HBO saying, "Oh no, we meant to release it early in Spain. They meant to get an episode extra."
It's just, it gets me, there's so many folk out there that are that desperate, and they will watch those episodes early.
I assume it'd be only in Spanish in a minute, so. Yeah.
Oh my.
I'm used to watching them after everyone else has watched them anyway. I'm just gotten better at avoiding spoilers.
Indeed.
Last thing that got spoiled for me was The Force Awakens.
Oh.
And that's because I did something I never normally do, and that was scroll down underneath a YouTube video and look at the comments.
Yeah, I just gotta be careful. I mean, I know...
I don't read the comments anyway, because they're just vile and horrible on YouTube, and everywhere mostly.
Well, true. Because that's a good thing about Twitter. At least Twitter, because of the low character count, a lot of times you don't get things spoiled. But I know, like, my better half, she uses Facebook, and you do, like, what she tells me, you just have to, like, scroll through things, because otherwise you will just get, slapped in the face with spoilers.
Yeah, I've stopped using Facebook because of that, mainly.
That's fair enough.
That's all my feed became. I think it was 2 seasons ago on Game of Thrones. My feed just filled up with Game of Thrones stuff, so I haven't watched it yet. So I stopped using it for the couple of months that series was going, and didn't go back. Because Twitter is better.
Well, speaking of leaks, or lack thereof, our first bit of news is from PC Gamer. And this is about a project that, because we had just discussed this briefly, hadn't we, Gavin, that was known as Project Keystone, right? And this is the new first-person shooter called The Amazing Eternals, and that's coming from Digital Extremes, the same studio that makes Warframe. And so they had teased this back in May, and it's something that looks quite interesting because it's a first-person shooter with deck building. If I just pull up this quick vid here, I've got a little trailer here. I'll just adjust the volume. So it's quite interesting. It's like I mean, how would you sum up those graphics? Because, I mean, it's not cartoony, but you know, it's still like properly rendered 3D, but at the same time,
the quality of the graphics looks similar-ish to style to the to Overwatch. But the aesthetic of it is a lot different. It is like old sci-fi aesthetic, and I really like that. So, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I mean, I'm trying to think, has there been... I mean, I know there's obviously a lot of card games out there, and I know there's games that have had, like, cards as modifiers. Like, even, like, Forza, the latest ones, you can get little cards that mod things. Halo was one, wasn't it, that had kind of cards or something that modified things?
Yeah, they did the new...
So.
Oh, it was Halo 5, which I didn't really like that much.
Yeah, they did something with it.
Was it Warzone?
Yeah, Warzone.
Cards you could get packs, and that basically unlocked weapons when you got to certain levels as a team and stuff
and then
like
you could like buy certain weapons. Depending how many you had, I think, carded up or
and
something.
And then, of course, Warframe's mods, or let's be honest, they're cards. I mean, I know they call them mods, but they look like, you know, cards.
They're little cards, but you slot them in.
Didn't Titanfall have a kind of system like that as well, if I'm mistaken?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, Titanfall 2's got little kind of card modifier things.
Star Wars Battlefront as well.
But I suppose that the key difference is obviously those are cards that like modify things and whatnot, whereas this actually has proper deck building components. So, you know, basically all players will wield a unique deck of cards that will give you benefits, powers, weapons, and depending on your timing of how you play the cards, you might end up getting the upper hand in battle. So it sounds interesting. Sounds very, very different in that regard, like an actual first-person shooter that is also a card game. It's just
sorry, referral links.
It's just a bit. It sounds interesting. Now, and of course, this is going to be free to play because it's Digital Extremes, but they're going to be coming out with Founders Packs on August 29th.
Free to play games are never free to play. It's all a lie.
Yeah, so on the 29th you can buy Founder Packs and get in, or you can use that link I just put in the chat there, and that's a referral to sign up for the beta. So.
Oh, very nice.
Closed beta starts on the 29th. You can buy the Founders Pack, or you can get invited in.
Well, I'm going to do that right now. So there.
Yes. Apparently, the referral link gets you faster access. Because if you have 4 or more friends sign up, you get put in the priority list. Little bit of marketing.
Okay.
Seeing as how much I love Warframe. This isn't exactly the same team, but they must work closely with the Warframe team, and they're going to take bits and bobs from them and ideas, and hopefully you won't get that sort of weird warming up period that Warframe had, where it's like, this isn't very good, this isn't very good, I'll go back to it, still not very good, go back to it, I love it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, when you look at
the game.
Digital Extremes' track record, and I mean, hopefully they've learned a lot from Warframe. I would imagine when it comes to mechanics and gunplay, hopefully they've... I mean, because I suppose that's the only kind of... I don't think the gunplay in Warframe is exceptional. I mean, I think it's decent. You know, the melee's really, really good. But this game looks... yeah, just like you say, the graphic... I knew I was thinking of something. It's Overwatch. It just really, really reminds me of Overwatch. But it does look nice. But I had no idea that they've had closed alpha testing for quite some time.
And it's sort of flying a bit under the radar because I suppose there was when Hi-Rez Studios put their hat into the ring with the Paladins. There was that big controversy. It was like, oh, it's copying Overwatch and stuff. They've certainly taken some ideas since Overwatch had come out, but yeah, that's been productions done before Overwatch was a thing. But yeah, now Digital Extremes are throwing their hat into the ring, and they're going to put their twist on it with the deck building. Which, until I see it, I'm not too sure about the deck building aspect, but we'll see how it plays in with the game. But just the way it looks at the minute, I could really like this a lot.
I suppose that's the thing. I mean, with a free-to-play game, you've got nothing to lose. Well, unless you really like it and end up spending a crap load of money onto it.
We'll do that.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So there's no, aside from that awesome link that you posted there, so I've done that, signed up for that. There's really no other kind of major details on it. We don't know what the Founders Packs are going to include. We can imagine it'll no doubt give you some kind of custom skins, maybe weapons, probably cards, since this is a deck building game. And then there's a closed beta starting September 1st, which I would imagine, since the Founders program, well, if the pack's going to be available the 29th, I would imagine that buying a Founders pack will...
I think that's when the beta will probably go live, the closed beta, that day, yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably allow you access to it. I would imagine.
There have been some companies that allowed you to buy Founders packs before, but it's usually on the release. So basically you're buying the free-to-play game, getting fits for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of like, look at Fortnite. Fortnite's technically, you're paying
Fortnite's
to beta.
Going to an extreme with it, because... yeah, Sheldon Carter's work on it. Sorry, he's one of the main Warframe devs. It's just got the little video documentary they've got going. Yeah, they've definitely got some of the Warframe people working out at least.
Yeah, it's great. The Amazing Eternals will take players on a journey through a multiverse that begins in the starting square of a mystical board game. So there. Interesting to kind of put these two genres together of the whole... Because, when I think of like something that requires a deck, I just always think of things like Magic. I mean, yes, I know that there's
Hearthstone.
There's more, there's more relevant and newer things, like you say, like Hearthstone and Gwent and oh god, what was the latest one? There's a Dark Souls card game coming up, isn't there?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I know recently again, Hi-Res Studios behind Smite and Paladins have chucked their hat into the ring on the card game front as well with Hand of the Gods, I think they're called, based on their Smite gods. I've not taken an interest in it. I haven't played Smite.
Yeah, I think there was Steamforged Games, Expand Dark. There's a playable card game. I knew that it came out with a board game and actually looked really awesome. But yeah, cards.
Apparently that board game does have its issues, but instead of going for like trying to translate the mechanics from Dark Souls and trying to translate the feel of it instead, stuff like that. I've seen it was on Twitch. I watched that being played. It was certainly interesting.
Now I wonder, since this is a Digital Extremes game, if there'll be the ability to trade. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a rare card for your deck, and if you're going to be able to kind of, trade that with people for their currency, because you would imagine if it's a free-to-play game, there's got to be currency of some kind involved.
Oh, no doubt. Be a currency. They might even go
real life money.
Oh, that's how free-to-play works.
Yep.
You're free to play, but it's not free for them to make it. So.
Oh well, we'll have to keep our eye on that and see. With any luck, getting to the closed beta and give it a try. And if not, well, we'll just see. We shall just have to see when we can get our hands on it. Speaking of free-to-play games, probably one of the biggest free-to-play games when you consider that there's an actual league involved, actual esports, world tournaments and whatnot, and that's, of course, World of Tanks. And its next bit of news is from Eurogamer.net, and this is something that I'm surprised that this actually, I hadn't heard about this sooner. To be fair, I haven't played World of Tanks in ages. I used to play it religiously, but of course that was before Destiny had came out. But on consoles, the console version of World of Tanks is going to get a single-player campaign next week. And it's called War Stories. The idea is that you get to relive historical events, playing out alternative histories. There's fantasy campaigns. So like a prime example is a tank assault on Britain during World War II. Obviously, as we know, the tank, the enemy's tanks never made it over here. But, so stuff like that. A war between the Allies and Soviet forces in Germany after the blockage of Berlin is outlawed, and a war sparked by the Cuban Missile Crisis. So, the article itself, there's a video in the link. It looks quite neat. And so you can play war stories either on your own or in co-op with your friends. They're also going to be adding in a new tank tutorial so players can get into the game. And according to the devs, they're going to continue to add new campaigns to war stories throughout the year. So that's kind of cool. I'll fire that up. That's going to be released next Tuesday, the 22nd of August, for the console versions. So there you go.
It takes up a ton of hard drive space, but I'll give it a go.
Yes, it's a huge game, but it's because of the
70 or 80 gigabytes. So it's stupid.
It never used to be that big, but because they added the high definition textures on the what was then next gen but now current gen consoles, it just like almost doubled the size of the game by adding in those high res textures, which previously only the PC had.
Rather those textures be optional, I'd rather play with crappier textures and you have to have more than just that game on my hard drive. Jesus.
It's fair enough.
Yeah. This sounds interesting. It's a game that has been solely multiplayer from its inception till now is getting a single player. So we don't know if the AI programming will be any good or anything like that, but I'll be interested to see what they do with it and how fun it could possibly be.
Mm-hmm. I think I like the concept. I mean, as you say, it's nice just to have a little bit of single player action. But just this whole idea of these alternative histories, this war story thing, I think that's what sounds interesting. I mean, because the way that they're selling it is that it's going to be story-driven, episodic gameplay, and it just, I don't know, that just really sounds quite interesting to me. Hopefully, it's a fair amount of content, not just like a tiny, tiny little bit. And like you say, hopefully it's good, because just last weekend with that For Honor free trial, I wanted to play the campaign. I was like, oh cool, I want to check this out. And I got bored of that really quick.
Yeah, me and Jay were co-oping that and we didn't finish it.
No.
And we're trying to play multiplayer and it's like, oh, they haven't fixed the peer-to-peer bullshit yet. I'm lagging all over the place. This isn't fun.
Oh my.
Yeah, they fucked up that free weekend. They had just waited until after they put out the fixes and then a free week. Boom, sold more copies.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's just like, nope, this is still on the massive slope down to obscurity.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it did for me. It just, because I thought, ooh, I'll give it another chance. I'll see what I think of it. I'll try this campaign. Maybe that'll be enough to suck me in. And no, I think I got maybe to the third or fourth mission in the story, and I just like, nah, I've kind of lost interest. It just didn't grab me. And like you say, with all the issues and whatnot, it just, meh. But I mean, with World of Tanks has been super successful. I mean, it's been around for years. They've still got all these huge tournaments. Their player base, I don't think it steadily grows. I think it kind of goes up and down. But it
does fluctuate.
There is a lot of hardcore World of Tankers, though, and likewise, what's interesting about World of Tanks, there's a lot of older generations that play World of Tanks. Likewise, there's a lot of kids as well. But the amount of people like over the age of 50, and 60 and whatnot, that I've met online was amazing, especially on their forums. And you find a lot of them were like retired military, and they just really enjoyed the gameplay. Because it's a strange game. When you look at the lower tiers, it's quite fast paced and running around and just kind of shooting whatever you can. But when you get to the higher tiers, some of those matches can go on for a really long time, and they're really, really strategic. And quite tense. It's a really good game, but again, it's one that unfortunately, you can pick it up really easily, but when you get into the advanced mechanics, when you get into the actual math behind armor penetration and angling your tank, you can go crazy with that game when it comes into tactics and techniques, and same with like avenues of approach on different maps and different kind of counters, what to use against this tank and that tank. It actually gets really, really complicated. And it's one of those games that can really, really suck you in.
It's that sort of level of complicated stuff that makes me start to prefer. I prefer World of Warships, which is the naval battle game. It's like, I could worry about angling armor, but I'm on the sea. I can't angle myself, so I'm just gonna sail my ship up and blow the fuck out of everyone.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
Well, I could run aground, but that'll make it worse.
You guys can't kill me now.
I should actually revisit that, because the last time I had World of Warships installed was when I was on the old PC, and it didn't, run that well.
It runs a lot better now. I can run it decently on this potato, so you can probably make it look magnificent.
I might have to revisit it, because I wanted to play all of them. I wanted to play World of Tanks, World of Warships, World of Warplanes, and until I played World of Tanks on PC, and I just didn't like it. I'd been playing it on console for too long, and so the PC version of World of Tanks, nope, not interested.
I mean, I originally played it on PC, and I quite enjoyed it for quite a long while, and then I got to console, and I couldn't get back into it. And now I went back to PC to try again. I couldn't get back into it then. So, but then I did play War Thunder since then.
Oh God, War Thunder, yeah.
I like War Thunder's mechanics better.
Yeah, no, agreed. War Thunder's.
Yeah. I want that on console, because PC doesn't run it particularly well. Runs it well enough, but
yeah, no, it can.
It'll look better on my console.
Yeah, it can take a lot of resources, that's for sure.
But yeah, that's the whole you can take it. You don't have to just deplete a hit point bar like you do on World of Tanks. You'd you get a good shot, you can take out their magazine and blow the tank and the submarines with a single shot.
Yeah.
Or you just murder their crew instead of anything else. And then you can just go, right, I'll park my tank over here. No, I'm in the plane. I'll bomb them instead. Which is something World of Tanks said they were going to try and do at one point, was bring their 3 games together. And I think they backtracked on that in the end. That was a while ago though, so I don't think it was anything more than we would like to do this. But what the internet's like, it's like, we would like to try this, and it's like, it's going to happen. No, they just said they're having a look at it. Might not be able to do it.
It would be cool.
It would be amazing. Because War Thunder is just planes and tanks in a minute, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
If World of Tanks could actually bring their games together and had all 3 aspects working together, you could. If the naval battle off the side goes very well, they can start taking naval bombarding tanks and stuff.
Yeah, very true.
Then the Air Force will come in and take out the ships, or take out the tanks and stuff like that. It adds a lot of depth.
Indeed. But yeah, so there you go. Single player campaign releasing 22nd August. It's episodic, so obviously we're not getting the whole shebang all in one go. But yeah, definitely worth having a little peek. I'll definitely be taking a little look and seeing what is going on. So that's just right around the corner, but there's something that is not right around the corner. A game that has been delayed time after time after time, and then frankly, this year's E3, they came out and said, no, it's definitely coming out, it's coming out this year, and no, it's not. According to Eurogamer.net, Crackdown 3 has been delayed yet again, because if you remember at E3, Crackdown 3 was supposed to coincide with the Xbox One X release. It was going to be a launch title, so it was going to be 7th of November that it was going to be coming out. Originally, was it not supposed to come out? Yeah, it was unveiled at E3 in 2014 with a release date of 2016. And so it's just been pushed back ever since. And so now the latest news is that, yes, it's not coming out till spring of next year. Allegedly, what the publishing general manager, Shannon Loftus from Microsoft Studios, said was that Crackdown 3 is a hugely ambitious game, and we want to ensure we deliver the right experiences all the way through every part of the game, whether that's campaign, co-op, multiplayer, or a competitive multiplayer mode. So getting the right balance between the 3 modes is important, and we're going to take the extra development time to ensure that. So, right, interpret that, Jay. What does that mean? What does it really mean?
Oh, God. What does that really mean? But well, it almost implies they've bit off more than they can chew in a way.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's
because the fact that they put whether that's campaign, co-op, multiplayer, or competitive multiplayer mode, that implies it's all of it that they want to ensure they deliver the right experiences for.
Mm-hmm.
It's not they stated it's one of them. It's whether that's campaign and it's all from part of the game. So it sounds like they're not at the stage they want anything in the game yet.
No.
Considering how long you say it's been on, it's quite interesting.
I mean, let's remind ourselves of some of the things. I mean, this had fully destructible, huge city environments, which I know originally wasn't the big selling point, that the physics for all of that was going to use the cloud. It was going to use cloud processing.
Scale back hard on that.
Yeah, that was one of the big upsets, wasn't it? That they came out saying, oh, this is going to be amazing because, we can go beyond the limits of the console because we're going to be using cloud computing for the physics. It's going to be amazing. Until they probably realized, wait a minute, how much would that actually cost?
That would cost us too much. And if we tried charging people, they'd be angry. Yeah.
Well, just think about, how many people are going to play the game, so how many server farms are we talking about? Just to fund, well, not fund.
You say it's the physics engine they want to run on it. That's not a small feat.
Yeah, that would require a lot more.
The physics engine, that's a lot of power. A lot of power. That's
going to be more intense than running servers for like server-based games. It's
physics.
It's actually doing
I'm aware of
processing.
Yeah, physics-based engines and stuff take up a lot of processing power and a lot of computational power and whatnot. Because that's not simple things.
No.
At all. It's quite interesting to read the statement of getting the balance right between the 3 modes is important. Are they going to be in a way tightly related to each other? Because I've never played the Crackdown games, so I don't know how they work.
I have played them a lot. They were very good at their time. But it was always had your campaign, your co-op. This Wrecking Zone mode, which is the competitive multiplayer mode, that's not really been a thing. You'd always shoot your teammate in a co-op mode, but the way your agent moved, it was always nigh impossible to hit properly and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how it would work unless they've really toned down the agility, jumping, and movement.
That's what it says about getting the balance. That could be what it says by getting the balance right between the 3 modes, because as you say, if it's hard to hit people in PvP, they're not going to want to nerf that, but have it affect the co-op multiplayer on the single-player campaign. I mean, and again, they're going to have weapons and stuff that carry over through each mode. I mean, how's it? What intrigues me as well.
When you think, that was basically only 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 weeks away, maybe a bit less. November. Sorry, more than that, because all of September, all of October, so 8, 9. Okay, so just over 2 months away, and to be that close to when it was supposed to be released, they're having. They don't say they're having issues. They're just saying that, we want to make sure everything's right. But again, they're just me being cynical. The way that I interpret that is, oh crap, we've got some balancing issues, or we've got something that's not quite working right, or maybe the campaign's fine, but we've got a co-op issue that we can't quite rectify.
Yeah.
It's a bit unnerving that this stage of development, considering they've been at it since 2014 and it was supposed to release last year. It's like, holy crap. you know, if you were a Japanese studio, Microsoft would already have sacked you and then bought the IP so you couldn't make the game. Scalebound.
No, don't.
This
Still hurts.
I was so hyped up for that game.
This is like going to be a game that comes out and is absolutely amazing and like top tier, or it's going to be an absolute flop. I don't think there'll be a middle ground with it.
I may be cynical, but I think it's almost certain it can be more towards the flop end.
Yeah.
Not just because of all these delays, but because of the nature of the game itself.
I mean,
Crackdown, I loved at the time, but I don't really think that people are going to want to play it anymore. Games have come on a long way since then. And
well, when did Crackdown 2 come out? How long ago was that?
We'll find out.
You know, I mean, the thing that gets me too is when you look at, you know, I know that at E3 Microsoft tried to dress it up, saying, oh, we've got all these nice new, you know, exclusives and whatever. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Microsoft One X, there wasn't that many titles that were launching with it. And this was one that they really put a lot of stock in. I mean, come on. Terry fucking Crews, man. Right? I mean, you know,
Terry Crews.
Right?
He who was going to be Doomfist but was sort of replaced.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of hype. You know, this was one of their big guns. In Microsoft's mind, this is one of the big, look, yeah, when One X comes out, Crackdown 3 does, and now it's lost that. Okay, they've still got Forza 7, so that's cool.
Right.
But that's not a launch title, that comes out before, so...
Found Crackdown 2 release date, that was July 2010. I also found out there was a multiplayer in it. Goes to show that I really didn't think much of it and basically forgot it existed. Because I did play a lot of Crackdown and Crackdown 2.
But no, so there we go. Delayed yet again. Now the question is though, will it come out in spring 2018? Will basically Microsoft say, right, no, this is it. It's coming out. It's either coming out then or it's not coming out at all, or will they give them yet even more time to work on it?
Somebody should open up like a bookies for gaming releases.
Oh god!
I'm seeing money there at this point. Like, you know, it's a.
I'm seeing another way for you to lose a load of money, Jay. I mean, you're already cracking kegs in Gwent, God knows what else. So.
Yeah, that's terrible. Free to play. I said earlier, free to play games. They're a lie. Complete and utter lie.
Oh, they're free to play for me, but for a whale in inverted commas like you, no.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm part of the problem. Part of the problem.
Keep being the problem. You fund my gaming.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it does actually get played again and what the final product will look like. If they have actually made the improvements they think were needed, and if it's actually good enough for what the fan base wants.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've gotten to a point where the people that actually still really want to play Crackdown will be overhyped, and it will just be a huge, huge disappointment for them. And the people that did want to play it will just ignore it, and I don't think it can actually really go anywhere unless it somehow managed to be really good. I think it's not as likely to be good as it is to be just a crazy disappointment.
It just seems like another Microsoft game that is going to cash in on the younger generation. You know what I mean? It seems like, don't be wrong, I'm sure that adults would enjoy it as well, but as far as like the whole being able to destroy everything and using folk like Terry Crews, you know, it seems that that's who they're really kind of targeting. And that's where they're going to make their money, is all the kids buying it. Oh, we've got to have Crackdown 3. We've got to have Mom.
Terry Crews was in it.
Oh, well. But yeah, so there you go. It's not coming out
until... Not even sure it'll get the kids.
Till spring of next year. Right, next bit of news is actually a rumor. It's been actually all over the place, and I haven't seen the actual confirmation yet. But it does sound like it pretty much is most likely true. But anyway, our source is WCCF Tech, and this is to do with the AMD RX Vega. Vega 64 and 56 just launched on Monday. As you can imagine, they're already sold out in most places. Overclockers UK, over here, their stock lasted 2 minutes. And they had a shit ton of them. Right, so it sold out like hotcakes. And to put it in perspective, the RX 56, the Vega 56, from the benchmarks that I've seen from a whole range of sources, overall looked like it outperformed the NVIDIA GTX 1070. Now, yeah, some games the 1070 performs better. You know, there's a bit of back and forth, but overall, it looked like the 56 was, you know, I think about 8% quicker, better than a 1070. And likewise, the Vega 64 was better, performed better in most benchmarks than a GTX 1080. So hey, you know, great for AMD. Great that they've, you know, the new Radeon cards have done well. And the price was quite good as well. The prices of the Vega cards were cheaper than what you can currently buy the NVIDIA cards. For example, the Vega 64 in American dollars was $499, a $500 video card. And considering that most of the 1080s that I was looking at on the American marketplace were, I think, around $600, you know, depending on the model, that's a pretty good deal. You know, even if they were similarly really, really closely priced, you know, it'd still be a good deal. But this is the bad news. According to WCCF Tech, the price tag, the initial price tag, was a launch-only introductory offer. And this is what has got, you know, folk really, really upset. I mean, speaking of Overclockers UK, allegedly it first appeared on the forums. And the leak was from Gibbo. And Gibbo, you know, if I'm not mistaken, he works for Overclockers UK. Usually, in fact, I think he's the same guy that dealt with my issue. Because when I'd ordered an RX 480 way back when, and the stock was delayed, it was Gibbo who switched my order to a GTX 1060 for me. I'm sure it was. But anyway, he was saying on the forums that, hey, look, those were only early adopter discounts. That allegedly the price is going up another $100. Which we'll just have to see. You know, because everywhere, I'm pretty sure, as of right now, they're all out of stock. And the only way to buy them is going to be the bundles and whatnot. So basically, what I've got here, here's the statement from Gibbo from Overclockers UK. The good and bad news. The good news is AMD are rebating early launch sales to allow us to hit £449 on the standalone RX Vega 64. This is a launch-only price, which AMD at present are saying will be withdrawn in the near future. When it happens is unknown, but remember, do not be shocked if the price jumps nearly £100 in a few days. We've also made some bundles as well. These bundles feature no discount. What you get is 2 AAA titles known as Prey and yet to be released Wolfenstein 2, worth a solid 50 quid between them. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it's interesting. I mean, there's no reason for them to do this. I mean, remember these bundles that they talked about, which we talked about, Jay, these Radeon packs?
Yes.
That were supposed to be a way to stop the not Bitcoin, but Ethereum miners from buying these cards. And I'm just wondering if this can't be a similar reason, because if so, let's be honest, the miners would have bought these cards immediately, most likely, and they would have, you know, benefit from the discount. Or would they? Would the miners actually wait to see how these things perform before buying them? I just don't know.
Might have. It's kind of strange that they didn't, because I wasn't aware. A lot of people don't think whether they were going to have this period where it's just the first lot were going to be discounted.
No, it's, you know, well, for video cards, if anything, it's been the opposite. Like the 1080 Founders Edition was actually more expensive than the cards later down the line. It's really a weird move.
I just find it's weird that there was no mention of it. That's what I find strange. I mean, were they so confident in it they didn't feel the need to say anything like this because people were going to buy it anyway? Did they think the people that were going to buy them were going to get them straight away, so the change in price tag wasn't going to be too much of a problem for them because if people did want them, they'd pay it? It's an interesting move, really. Like I said, I don't think we've seen anything to do with this up until now.
No, it's...
We're exploring all the, like, God knows how many weeks we've been doing this for now, talking about the Vegas and stuff. It's a weird move.
Now, allegedly, I'm just reading, more, as much as I can find here. And so now this move is for the standalone cards. You're still going to have these Radeon packs, which, again, the reason for the Radeon packs is, to scare off miners. But the reason here they're saying that they're raising the prices as well is to scare off miners, to force people to buy Radeon packs. And it's weird because they're even saying that the reason, because Vega was supposed to come out earlier, and the entire point of the Vega delay was in order for AMD to accumulate stock for launch. And as this article says, they saw their entire inventory evaporated within minutes of launch, making it one of the worst stocked GPU launches in history. Consumers will now pretty much be forced to buy Radeon packs at gunpoint. Just wow. And I like this tail end. They say, one thing is for sure, however, every reviewer needs to update their conclusions based on the new prices. Which, it's a fair point, because, a lot of these reviewers, they do that price to performance ratio. And I think that's where it was doing quite well. One of the things that I think is quite ironic, they've done all this anti-mining, countermeasures, Jay. But the card is actually not that great for mining because it uses, with these miners, right, they're all about, I think it's called hashing or hashes or something. And they base it off how many watts they use in an hour versus how many, hashes they make or some crap.
Yeah.
And the Vega uses a hell of a lot of power. I mean, like the top of the line Nvidias, are pushing like 100 and something, I think. I think a 1080 Ti maybe breaks 200 watts. Whereas the Vega, you're looking at 300. It uses...
bit of a jump.
Big time. So for these miners who are all about, trying to get hashes per watt or whatever, it's not very economic. It would actually cost them money to run one of these rather than one of the cheaper RX 580s or the Nvidia GTX 1060 and whatnot. No, so it's a bit of a shame. It's because I've seen a lot of the reviews, and the cards they look good price, performing well. Their thermals have been pretty decent, especially considering these are the stock reference type cooler. We haven't seen the aftermarket ones yet. But no, it's quite a shame. They're already sold out everywhere, and now we know that when they come back in stock, they're most likely going to be even more expensive. Which, if you're going to be paying that money, well, do you want the shiny new AMD big power-hungry card, or are you just going to spend that money on the tried and tested Nvidia one anyway?
Exactly.
It's a bit of a shame. It's a real shame. When you look at how well AMD's done with their Ryzen launch and the Threadripper launch they just had, just somewhat of a letdown with the video cards. I'm not trying to take away from the performance, but just...
Seems like a strange move from them.
It's weird. I just don't quite get it. Oh well. These things happen. Speaking of computer stuff, I wanted to talk about this case. Right, this case...
This looks really cool.
The only reason... Okay, it's actually a brand, if I'm totally honest, I wasn't that familiar with. And the only reason this popped up on my radar, Jay, was, funnily enough, another Jay. There's a YouTuber I really like. I really enjoy his content. And he's called Jay's 2 Cents. And this guy, he lives in Southern California. He really knows his stuff. He always does like custom water loops and stuff. And he was obviously one of these lucky people. Not lucky because he's worked really hard. But he got one of the reviewer kits from AMD with the two Ryzen the two Threadripper processors. You know, the big box and stuff. And so he wants to use this case for his Threadripper build. And so this case is called the Conquer, and it's from a company called Cougar. Now, you can look on YouTube. There's a bunch of stuff out about the case. In our money, it's 250 quid for the case. But to be fair, it's made entirely from CNC aluminium and really thick tempered glass. And I'm not sure this is really going to do it justice. I can try, though. Let's have a look. I'm not sure if this... Yeah, the video's not going to show too much. I'll bring these photos up. This is better. If I just pull up these photos, as you can see, it's this really futuristic, geometrical, all-metal look with, you know, this beautiful big glass side panel. It just... Oh, it's glorious. I mean, you know, it's got decent features. Okay, I/O on the front. You've got a couple of USB ports. You've got, you know, your typical mic in, mic out. But plenty of room for cooling. I think this comes stock with some orange, really nice looking Cougar orange fans. But, you know, you could have radiators on the top. You could easily fit, what, a 360mm radiator up there. You could put a 240mm radiator in the front. The thing is, though, holy crap, you're going to have to keep your cables. Like, your cable management is going to have to be spot on in this case. These next few pictures actually have some of the some components in. As you can see, the power supply goes down at the bottom. They've put a radiator up at the top. It's a very, very open aesthetic, so dust, you know, is an issue. But so there, you can see cables have been tidy. Those cables could be tidier than that. They definitely could, but that's not a horrible job. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this up. I mean, it's just such a beautiful case. But yeah, $300 in the States. 250 quid over here. You can pre-order it at Overclockers UK. Which in fact, if I let me just pull that up real quick. Overclockers UK, Cougar Conquer. Yes, they've got it. Available to pre-order. If I just pull up again, as you can see, $249.95. But it's a mid-tower aluminium gaming case, black and orange. And it comes with pre-installed fans, which, yeah, these images are showing them off a little bit better. You know, so you can see it's got this black and orange theme throughout. So if that's not your thing, well, I suppose it wouldn't be too difficult to attempt to paint or get that orange bit anodized. But, oh, it's just... Dreams. That's a lot of money for a case. 250 quid, Jay.
Yeah. That's a lot of money for a case. Just call it a case, don't get me wrong.
Oh, it's a work of art. Really, really nice, but it's made me want to look into them more. I didn't realize, sure enough, if you go on Amazon, there's plenty of Cougar products. Cougar make power supplies as well. Their fans are supposed to be decent, but it's a brand that, if I'm totally honest, I had never even heard of.
I haven't really heard much of them either, to be fair, up until now.
I think PC Specialist, another UK site, I think they carry quite a bit of Conquer stuff, but it's one of those brands that I just honestly had not heard of whatsoever. But I think, you know, with a case that's expensive, it's obviously targeted at like the custom modders. I mean,
yeah,
when you look at that case, that is perfect, in my opinion, for like doing custom water cooling. You know, like doing your hardline, all little you know, like the stuff that I saw when I was at Insomnia. You know, those beautiful handcrafted builds. you could really do something interesting with that as your starting platform.
Yeah, definitely.
But pricey. I like it, but I think, remember those Fantex ones I'd linked to you a while back?
I believe so, yeah.
Those skyscraper type,
Yes.
Honestly, I think I like that better still. I think those just, and they're quite a bit cheaper than that. They're still expensive cases, but still a little bit cheaper than that. But yes, the Cougar Conquer. If you're over in the States, you should be able to find them relatively easy. They are a US company, I believe. Whereas here in Europe, you have to look at different places like Amazon and whatnot. I don't think you can order directly from them. In fact, I could be right. Maybe you can't even order directly from Cougar in the first place. I think it might all be through resellers. I'm really not sure. Right, last bit of news. We're there. We've got to the end. And I was really hoping to get an invite for this. I was feeling lucky, but it just didn't quite happen. But this is from Digital Trends, and this was about Discord. And basically, Digital Trends, they were invited. They got a chance to try out Discord's new video chat as well as the screen sharing, and they said that it was indeed awesome. In case you didn't know, Discord had rolled out, well, funnily enough, they had announced they were going to be rolling out video chat to 5% of its users. And then I think it was a few hours later, they said, right, we're going to up it by another 5%, so that way it's 5% rather than 0. They'd announced it but forgotten to do it. But so they rolled out video chat and screen sharing to 5% of registered Discord users. And then I think just the other day, they upped it again, I think, to people who subscribe to Discord Nitro, as well as Discord partners. I think they all got it. But it's, honestly, I haven't had a chance to try it out myself, but if we look at this screenshot, well, this kind of GIF here, you can see how it works. It looks similar to Google Hangouts, and you're effectively doing like a group DM. If you're in a group DM, which keep in mind, I believe on Discord you can only do group direct messages with people who are on your friends list, I think. I'm pretty sure. You can't just, do a group direct message with anybody. You have to have them on your friends list, I'm pretty sure. But then once you're in a group DM, you can click the video icon, and that's it. Then, it'll be up and running. And currently, video chat supports up to 10 users at once. But according to Discord, they're saying that, look, it'll take a quality hit after the first 5 users because they're not using peer-to-peer connections. They're still using their client-server functionality. So that's really nice to hear. Because peer-to-peer, as we know from video games, can be a bit
painful.
Yeah, just a bit.
For honor. Sorry, bad cough there.
But they've got screen sharing here. If I pull this up real quick, here you go. You can just screen share as well, as opposed to just your video. You can, with screen sharing, it's the same. Like, you could end up streaming your gameplay to a small group of friends. So can you imagine, like, especially if you're someone that doesn't stream or anything, and you're playing games, and then your buddy is maybe asking you, oh, hey, remember in, I don't know, trying to think of a decent single player. Okay, Dragon Age. Hey, Jay, I'm stuck in this part of Dragon Age. I don't know what to do. Well, Jay could fire up Dragon Age, screen share with me, and I could watch, and he could be talking to me and telling me, right, so this is what you need to do. You need to go here, and it's quite cool, to say the least. Fair to say that Skype is, once this comes out, this is going to kick Skype's ass big time. I mean, Discord already.
Oh, definitely.
I like better than Skype. But the key thing that's been missing has been the face cam, because currently, still, if you want to do decent video conferencing for free, you're limited to your things like, Skype, or if you have an iPhone, FaceTime. But just think, it'll be interesting to see its mobile implementation as well, because that'll be quite neat. Because just think of that, Jay, for folk that don't have a PC or don't have a decent webcam, you could just fire up Discord on your mobile and use that cam.
Yep.
So who knows? We might in the future, if this all works relatively well, have Discord group video chat for jungle drums. So that was not just me.
As you've already said, just with voice chat, and obviously text-based chat. Well, Discord just blows Skype out of the water as it is already. I don't even use my Skype anymore. Discord's just fantastic. And then bringing this in as well, once they slowly fix all the kinks they've got of it, and they can test it with this 5%, which is what I'm assuming is the reason why they've only released it to a set amount, is, as they said, to see how much all the bandwidth's like, because obviously it's a lot bigger with video as well, and how that copes out. But it's good as well to see they've got this client-server one instead of peer-to-peer, which is quite good to see they're sticking with that.
Yeah. I mean, what they're saying is that by using a client-server architecture, they basically, because you're connecting to a server, ensures that the line's secure and private.
Yeah.
Whereas if this is the thing a lot of people don't realize, you video chat with someone and, I don't, not to make it sound sexual, but it is a very intimate connection.
It is.
And if someone knows what they're doing, they can tunnel through into your PC through that, they have all the information they need by connecting to you via peer-to-peer. That's why in some of these peer-to-peer based online games, people find themselves getting DDoSed and getting hacked, because it does expose you. Again, it takes a certain degree of skill and ability to be able to do that. But so Discord's just saying, rather than even tempt fate, screw it, we're just going to go with a client-server setup. And Discord's own servers act as the intermediary between the people on the voice chat. And it's the exact same with the screen sharing. The screen sharing goes through, their servers instead of being peer-to-peer. But it just sounds great. The tagline I'm reading here is, the Discord team has done the impossible. They've made a video chat app that offers a seamless user experience. So yeah.
Discord's take over the world. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, Discord's even supposed to be, they've been working on trying to release a console app for ages, and they're not quite there yet. But hopefully we'll get it, I mean, look at us. I mean, we use Discord for everything now.
Yeah, it's just literally our go-to thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't even use party chat on Xbox,
unless we really have to.
Unless we really have to. But for me, it's just a nice all-in-one solution. When you look at how Discord nowadays, even there's companies that no longer use traditional customer support. Like, instead of having phone lines, instead of having a form you submit, there's just an invite link to their Discord, where you can post your query there, you can live chat with people. There's a lot of organizations out there that have made that move.
It's good for all that, isn't it, as well? You look at gaming as well, there's so many gaming communities now and groups that have got this now, like things like, I'm going to use games like Gigantic, for example, League. They've got all these big, massive Discord servers now, so you can go in, talk to people about the game, ask questions, as you say, find groups for it. And it's a fantastic platform, it really is. And as you said, for companies as well, being able to go in, I mean, you could probably, I don't know if they do, but things like overclockers and stuff like that, if they don't, would benefit from Discord to be able to use for customer service and whatnot, queries, questions, anything like that. And it's just so much greater for that, because you compare it to things like Skype, you've got all these channels, like within Discord, it's user-friendly, it's easy to use, it's easy to swap between the channels, swap between the chat groups. It's just fantastic as a whole. It's such a great platform.
It's really changed the game, because, I mean, when you look, obviously, Discord, when it first came out, I mean, it was supposed to go up against things like TeamSpeak and Ventrilo and, Skype as time goes on, but it's now so much more. Discord it's almost like a new form of social media. Yeah. Because you look at some Discord servers, I mean, I'll admit I'm only in a few. I'm in 4 at the moment, and some are more active than others. But you go to some of the big ones, and it's like when I was younger, it was forums. You used to always go to forums and check that out. Whereas nowadays, Discord is the forums of 2017. That's where you go and you can have discussions and get information and do things. It's still not adopted everywhere yet. There's still, I think, a lot of folk who haven't tried it. But the more that word gets out and more people see, that, hey, look, no, Discord, you can get the app on your phone. And I think once it comes to console, if that's still in the pipeline, that'll just, make it blow up even more.
As you say, how much better would it be for conference calls over Skype and things like that with Discord as well?
Oh, God, yeah.
Separate companies, I think it'll be so much better.
No, big time. Because like you say, you got the folk in the office, maybe you're not in the office, you got on your phone, and, next thing you get a notification saying, look, there's a Discord call or a video chat, and you just fire it up. Because the thing, phones nowadays, Jesus, on some of these phones, they've got better cameras than, the one that's recording me right now.
Yeah.
Oh my. But no, so it'll be there is no firm date on when we're all getting it. I think it's just as you said, Jay, it's been in closed testing for quite a while, like a couple of months. So I think this was like the first, kind of like taste. I think what they're going to do is they're going to slowly roll it out. So they did that initial 5% to see how their servers dealt with it. Then what's nice to hear is that then they upped it another 5% or so, and only a few days later. So hopefully, if everything's going okay, we'll get it relatively soon. Because I'll definitely be interested in trying to use it a bit more. So I will.
Yep.
Indeed.
All the Discord, Jay's angry because I changed my picture.
God, if you got like Nicolas Cage now in that, Jesus Christ.
Nicolas Cage Mona Lisa. What you like? Well, that is it for the news this week. This weekend, obviously, is Gamescom, right? Yeah, this weekend, 21st. Yeah, well, because it's...
Yes.
I say weekend. It's actually a week thing, isn't it? Or 4 or 5 days. It's the 21st to the 26th.
It's almost a week, yeah.
So sorry, it's not even this weekend. It's Monday through Saturday-ish, Friday-ish. So with any luck, in fact, why don't we just call it? How about next week we're just talking about stuff from Gamescom?
I'll have to keep an eye on Gamescom then.
Yeah.
Shall we?
You keep an eye on Gamescom. A lot of good stuff happens there now.
We did it for E3, so why don't we just do it for Gamescom as well? Because with any luck, we'll get some real meaty kind of information about games. And then, of course, we'll see what the deal is with the Xbox One X pre-orders and whatnot.
Yeah, that's the 20th. So that's...
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Right, well, hey, thanks for tuning in if you tuned in. If you didn't make it for the live show, don't worry about it because, hey, the video goes up on YouTube. Of course, you could possibly watching this right now at www.scholarlygamers.com. As always, make sure to tune in to scholarlygamers.com every day for the latest and greatest content that we produce. Just today, it was Mr. Creatures and Kronos' continuation of Dark Souls 2.
That's the Scholar of the First Sin edition, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is.
That's quite important. It's a lot different. I haven't played that version.
They've got their series. Oh, why can't they're going to hate me? I can't remember the name of it.
I just saw it on Twitter.
But every week they're
retweeted it.
They're doing that. So 2 episodes tend to be coming out each week. So check that out. Also, Wednesday, the latest episode of Armchair Gaming came out, and it was quite good. No Man's Sky, and of course the famous guy Nietzsche. There's always arguments on how to pronounce that guy's name, and it was interesting. Sheldon pronounced it differently than I'd heard in the past, but he is the philosophy graduate, so I trust his judgment. But yes, anyway, plenty of content there. We'll be back, of course, next week, and we'll catch you then. Thanks, guys, for
It's in the dark, by the way, Jungle.
That's right, in the dark. Because they stream it live on a Monday usually. But then the YouTube stuff comes out, like a week or two later. But because of the time zones, it's like at 3 a.m. our time, so it's quite difficult to tune in. But that's why it's brilliant that they're doing this video series.
Oh, definitely get on watching it as well. So I was thinking about starting watching it, but
what's good about it is Mr. Creature, he had never played them, so he's going into them blind. And of course, Kronos, he has played them quite a bit, and he's kind of helping him through. But it's quite quite entertaining. Quite entertaining. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much. That's us. We'll catch you next week.